That's a sweeping motion. Or hit yourself in the face. Perfectly smooth cylinder in there. Loosey-goosey. Look at that. Yeah. Got more money than no brains. It's like brand used. Just make sure you don't follow me. You feel me? Hey, welcome back to Irish Outlaw Garage. I'm glad you subscribed or you're seeing this for the first time. It's great. I'm glad to have your attention for about 2 seconds. Let me show you what we're getting ready to do. So I've been out here busy cleaning the garage. Here's my new welder, ain't that sweet? Anyway, got the new beer cooler too. If you didn't see that in the last video, that's been full. I haven't really been able to drink a thing. But look what's in the garage taking up all the room. Yeah, I decided we're gonna start practicing in one of my metal bands, so give Zeppy a chance. He can play Dad's drums for a while. Give him something to do. That's my new oil burning heater. Almost burned the place down 5 times, and you can hear it. Yeah, there's a little bit of water in this oil that come out of my semi, and I had to, you know, put a bunch of stuff on the ground. I don't want to bother you with that, but no, the place is safe, ain't it, buddy? This is what we're getting to right here. If you've seen in some of our other videos, this is a 350 that I had bought. I think I paid $250 or $300 for it. And me and Zeppelin tore it apart. It was going to be his first build. Well, no, it's not going to be his first build because it has some of the worst rust scoring you can have, and it's already 60 over. So you know what that means. That means we ain't boring this thing. It's done. But that doesn't mean I can't get it running, because what we want to build an engine for, we'd like to have a new motor for, but we don't have to have one for one of the other cars, a spare motor. So let's see if this old piece of shit will run. So, you know, we may have an old car or two out there we can just throw this in. Burnout car, something we don't care about. Hey, already got the gasket kit ordered. We're just going to go through the heads, go through the motor a little bit. I'm not taking it apart, so get that out of your head. We're just going to run it with the pitting and all. We don't care. Don't have to be perfect. Now, you know this will be easy to rebuild because you can pretty much go to any local grocery store to get parts for a 350 Chevy. Yes, I'm the comedian of the family. So we're going to do this the only way I can think and know how, and that's how my dad used to get old tractors unstuck. Wouldn't even have to tear them apart. He just unstick them. This is actually his stone hone because I destroyed mine on the Javelin engine. But all I'm doing is using PV Blaster, sitting her down in the cylinder good. You're good and saturated. Then you can bet I'm just letting this stuff pour right down in the engine bay, because we'll clean that out too. Now watch out, Zeppy, you'll get it right in the face. Just move it quick all the way to the piston. You can tell that I'm so concerned that I'm scratching the piston. You want to make sure you dig in deep. That way it corrodes, right, buddy? Right. So we're just running as fast as this thing will go, just in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Oh, we'll stop. We'll give her a little more lube, and then we'll do it again. And when we're done, it's going to be a perfect finish, just like machine shop, right? Yeah. You're going into something, you son of a bitch. And make sure you pull out while it's spinning, that way you don't damage these pristine, perfect cylinders. So what I'm going to do then is I'm probably going to take an abrasive pad, like something like this, and I'll get a little bit of something on it, like a cutting agent, and we'll just completely make sure you go in and out like this, that way you damage the crosshatch and everything about the cylinder completely. Just like that. A little sandpaper. You can hear that it's, you know, perfectly smooth cylinder in there. And I'll get you in there. Just hold on. I want to get you in there. I don't want all the haters to miss anything. Okay? Alright.
It looks almost brand new. It's about right.
I think that's going to work.
Woo!
So yeah, We got ourselves a perfect cylinder, right? Look at that. Ain't that perfect? Yeah, no. It's great.
It's totally...
That pitting is actually pretty smooth. And that's good enough for me. I'd say that is good enough for me. Good enough for you?
Yes.
All right. Here's the thing, though. Let's make sure she rotates good and smooth. So I'll give this to Zeppy. All right. So Zeppy's holding the camera. This is our only concerned cylinder. One cylinder was bad because it sat too long. So let's see how she turns now. Well, let me. I don't like running this one. The rest of them I've got soaking. This one here didn't have anything in it, so I wiped it out. Look at that. She's sturdy, but I think it will clean itself out. Smooth. Real smooth. Let's go all the way down with it. Just like there. All right, so now that we got that completely rebuilt, I'm gonna go through every cylinder with my 4 1/4 dingle ball hone that's wore out on a 4-inch bore. So what could go wrong, right? Absolutely nothing will go wrong. If you want things to be perfect and you want to let shit sit for years and years in your garage, because you know it's got to be meticulous. I want 750 horsepower. I want double boost and triple whatever kind of crap you want to put on it. Or you could just put the shit together, put it in a car, and enjoy it. Just had this discussion with somebody about a Javelin. Wants 500 horsepower out of a Javelin. So he's going to take the 401 that he bought from a guy and decide, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to big block Chevy it because I need over 500 horsepower because I want to light the wheels up. Also the guy that's drunk spinning his junk ass brand new, Camaro around the parking lot, spinning rocks and debris and shit on one of my cars. Those kind of guys. Got more money than they know brains. Anyway, I shouldn't be talking like that because Zeppelin's right here, but you hear it all the time, don't you, buddy? Not just from me. So let's do this the wrong way right, all right? Hear that? That sounds like a lot of saving money. Right there. Oh, we're getting a little low, I can tell. Boy, this thing is worn out. Don't let it sit like that in the cylinder too long either. This is horrible. Don't do that. By the way, don't follow me, because I'm one of them guys that don't care at all. Alright. Let's see what kind of damage we did.
The guy who was spinning his new Camaro that was throwing rocks and debris was throwing them at my car.
Yeah, he's throwing it at Zeppelin's car. Rocks and shit hit Blanche, our Ranchero. I was pissed. Same guy that was talking to me about the Javelin. He wanted to know everything about my Javelin, but he didn't want to hear it. Just drive it, He also wanted $8,000 for it unrestored and stripped. Anyway, let me get this cleaned up. Ooh, look at that. All that metal that come off there. That's a good thing. I think that'll work. It's still a little rough, but it's still rough, but it's a lot better than it was. I think it'll run just fine, won't it?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Well, now we need to clean off the surface. We're going to plane those, specific to the head gaskets and the valve train we're using, which means exactly what came off of. Again, I'm not that dumb. This is a worn out disc. You don't want to go crazy on this. Or you might, I don't know. These head gaskets have been on there a long time. Yeah, buddy. That one's freshly back from the machine shop too. Looks pretty good. We'll just get all that oil out of there and grime and stuff. Now look, I may put valve seals on this, but I'm going to make sure this thing runs and runs good before I do that. I've got all the stuff I can do it without taking it off the engine, taking the heads off. But yeah, I'm going to just get this other one done. Keep running out of air for some reason. but it's a little hard to do when you use an old disc, especially these cheap bastards. So anyway, I got a gasket kit for $35. It's in right now at O'Reilly's. I need to go get. I did get a timing chain gasket, stuff like that, but I'm not taking that apart. I do have a distributor. I've got everything in that box right there to put it all back together. I'm just going to clean it up. I got a starter, got all that stuff. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why would you go through all this trouble? To prove a point. Maybe a couple points. Point number one, you don't need all the fancy ass shit that you see on TV to make an engine run and have fun. Number two, anybody could do this. This is me just being a dumbass. Yes, I can be a dumbass at times. I can be a serious engine builder, but I don't want to be. Why? What's the point? For me, it does not work. I mean, it does. I could build some hopped up motors. I used to do it all the time. Why? When I've got 3, 4, 5. I've actually got 5 cars that I could put this in with that transmission, or one of the transmissions I got sitting right here behind you. You know, you're looking at the camera at me, but behind you, there's 2 transmissions. One of them's completely rebuilt. The other one is perfect. They could throw them together, put them in a car, drive them. They'll burn the tires off the son of a bitch, whether they've got 500 to 800 horsepower or not. The Javelin will burn its tires off, and it's literally like 150 horse, maybe 175, with a shit rear end, and it'll burn the tires off of it. This is a point. You don't need all the fancy shit you may see on other YouTube channels. Nothing against that. Nothing against that. But it seems to be like the ones that started as podunk as possible, like this is how my dad taught me to get it going. They've kind of lost that. There's a couple of them out there. Pole Barn Garage is one. He don't do it with a bunch of fancy shit. Junkyard Digs, he don't have a bunch of fancy shit. He gets shit running all the time. Combines and stuff. Not to name names, but I'm just telling you. You don't need all that, okay? You don't need all that fancy crap. Yeah, it looks great on paper and on TV until you go pay the bill in this economy. Okay? That's why I'm doing this. I've got other engines to build. I do have a couple of them. A couple more small block Chevys that I got to go get. But why not make this one run? We can put it in something. Or a spare motor. Spare engine. Guarantee this thing's going to run and it's going to run fine. It may smoke a little while, but it'll be fine. I'm going to finish cleaning this up. Rant over. So that one's back in the machine shop too. It's perfect. Now just clean up the intake. I am going to clean this up. I may take every one of them out individually and clean them up a little bit. Throw some oil on them, stick them back down. Maybe put a little of my assembly lube on the cam. But I think we're good. Just go get the gasket kit. You know, I'm sitting here doing this and this guy's drumming behind me, so it's been noisy in here. What have you been practicing?
Can I do it?
What have you been practicing?
This.
That's right, poke an eyeball out while Mom's gone. That'll be good. You can't throw it towards the drum. You gotta pull it back like this. Bam. So it's a sweeping motion. Or hit yourself in the face. One of the two. Mom, we're headed to the hospital. Why? Zeppelin got a stick in his eyeball. There you go. Oh, man. It's a combination of the rim and the head. Yes. Well, that's, yeah, okay. So, got the heads all cleaned up, except I need to run them through the soaker, you know, tank them, which is what I'm doing to the valley of this 350 right now. I just run it through the tank, get it cleaned up. Actually, the serious part of this, just make sure all your oil returns are clean. just make sure that happens. But anyway, back to the joking, sarcastic part of me. We're running this through the tank so much that I'm sure everybody right now is cringing. But then why would you cringe? It's not your engine. It's mine. I'm the one that picked it up off the Facebook Marketplace for 250 bucks. The guy was honest. He said, I don't know anything about it. All I know, it was in a pickup truck, and they took it out so they could put a different motor in the pickup truck. They all swapped it. This motor came out. It sat, hence the rotten, rusty cylinder that we completely, you know, the machine shop got that out, didn't they, buddy?
Yeah.
Yep, that's gone. So I'm just running through here and cleaning up, and once I get all the gunk kind of cleaned up in here, I'll probably spray her down with some brake clean again. Just, you know, hand cleaner works real good. It also works good. This stuff works good for burns and scrapes and disinfectant. But anyway, let me get this thing cleaned up. And then I'm going to pull each and every one of these lifters out of their bore, clean them themselves, and then I'll re-goop them up and stick her all back together. I already went through all the cylinders with brake clean and a clean rag. Make sure to use, I swear I used a different rag per cylinder. Nope, because I've only got 3. So one's for dirty, one's for almost dirty, and one's for the magic clean at the end. I got a special thing that I'm going to put on all this stuff before I'm done for the night. Stick around for that. Woo! Mom gets home, we're all going to be high as a kite. Oh! Making a mess.
It landed right side up.
Did it?
Yeah.
Ha! That's pretty good. Well, all the lifters have come out. One of them a couple of them I had to use a vice grips on. But for the most part, they look pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit of wear on them, not a bunch. It's decent. It's not like, they're kind of flat. I do know they need it. It's gonna have to put lifters in it. This one actually is stuck down and the clip popped out, and that don't happen. See how that little clip in there holds the plunger? Matter of fact, here's the plunger right there. So yeah, unfortunately, in order to continue my venture, I'm gonna have to order new lifters. I think the cam's fine. That is not a stock cam in there either, guys. That is aftermarket. So who knows? Don't care. I'm just gonna order some lifters, and those should take a day or two, maybe a day, because I'm just gonna get the cheapest shit possible that'll actually go bad and just wipe what's left of that cam, because China. So anyway, that's gonna be it for right now. So hang tight. This rodeo is not even close to being over. I'm gonna make sure this thing runs, and it's a little nipply outside, so I don't know if we're gonna put it in a car right now or not, but it'd be fun to have something in here on a stand we can play with. Maybe it runs great and we go ahead and take the front of that thing off and get the cam out and see what we actually have. Who knows? I mean, I guess I could now. I could take it down to that point. But no. See, I'm thinking like I want to build it like I'm taking the long trip. Not a long trip engine. I'll see you when I get the lifters and the gasket kit. Okay? See you in a little bit. By the way, y'all, before I forget, I have found a new love for a product that was sent to me, and I'm telling you what, I'm sold on it. Okay? Yeah, I got the new lifters ordered. And you'll notice how shiny and clean everything looks. I even did the heads. That's this right here. Okay? That is that. It's called Strikehold. And you can go to strikehold.com and order you some. And if you use Irish 10, okay? IRISH 10 in the coupon or whatever that little thing is, because I'm an idiot, don't ask me. But if you go there, and if you apply that, you're going to get free shipping. This stuff is amazing. I have this, and I have it in an aerosol can that I keep in my semi. I use it for like hinges and door things and the hinges on the trailers, and there's so many uses for this. It is both a lubricant, cleaner, and a protectant. Like, you can use this on your lawnmower, spray the metal down, and you'll never get any rust. It protects it from it. You like your things like your lawn fertilizer spreader. Usually it'll rust out anything, you know, just like anything farm, you know, pew related, anything like that. That's what this is. It was designed for pew. Okay? So I'm telling you, I'm sold on it. Go there, strikehold.com. When you come there and you apply, when it asks for apply a coupon or whatever that thing might be, Irish 10, you're going to get free shipping. So I'm sold on it. I've done sprayed this whole engine down with it, and it's really weird because it's cleaning it as it's lubricating to make sure it don't rust. It's amazing. So anyway, I'll see you when I get the lifters and the kits. Strikehold.com. And it's friggin' made in America. Yes. Hey, it's been about a week. Welcome back to the shit show. Let me show you what I've got going on. Believe it or not, I bought the right tool. I've been wanting to get one for a while, and it's, you know, basically the O'Reilly's, you know, their rental program stuff, and it works great. This one was unopened, so 25 bucks, guys. I mean, the one you get off the shelf is half the quality and it's almost the same price. So let me show you. That's timing chain. I knew I was going to take this off anyway, and boy am I glad I did. Rusty, loosey goosey. Look at that. You could take this thing in and out. This cam will move in and out, which is fine. It's not that bad, but I mean, it is, the chain is junk. I do have one ordered to be here about 3 o'clock. It's morning now ish, something like that, Saturday before Christmas. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this pan off too. So let me get the pan off, and then we'll decide what we're gonna do here. But as far as been sitting a week, I rotated this thing a couple times. Oh, got some junk in there, but it rotates just fine. There's nothing wrong with the rotating assembly except for this cylinder, and being number 2, yeah, it's probably gonna smoke, but whatever. At least the car will be running and driving. By the way, that Strikehold stuff right there, that shit is awesome. I come out here and the grime and shit is literally falling off of this motor, but it's still lubricated. I mean, I'm still gonna brake clean it all, you know, final clean, but wow. Anyway, let's turn it over and get this damn oil pan off. Okay. There we go. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow, am I glad I didn't just try taking off with this. Hold on. Well, this motor had only sat just a little while. It wasn't, you know, it didn't sit for that long at all. I mean, there's no buildup or anything on this. Well, I guess I better get an oil pump coming too, huh? Great. How I cleaned this whole garage up to make room, and then I put that in here, and now I got no room. There it is. Come on. Get out of there, whatever you are. Come on. That sucker is in there. Why won't you come out? So let's just go back in time about 5 minutes, and we'll just pretend that I didn't think about taking out the fuel pump for the fuel pump push rod. because I'm a moron. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, I had to get the camshaft out. Guys, this thing is rusted and pitted. I'm going to try to clean it up. I honestly don't see any lobes that are garbage. They're just, they got rust pitting in them. Now, do I run it? Let me clean it up. Let me clean it up and see what it looks like. We may run it because we already know the motor's straight garbage. I know it'll run for a long time, even with them crappy bearings. But let me clean this up. There. Good as new. What do you think? What do you think about that? Nice and smooth? No, it's not. But it's better than it was. And all the lobes look like they're there, but these will wear down. I'm not going to kid you and think, oh, this will last forever. No, it's not going to. Good enough for the girls we date, though. And I'll just spray this sucker down with some of my strike hold. That'll help get all the crud out of it. And keeps it from rusting. Cleans it. We'll just let it sit. Just like that. Now I'm going to dig into this thing. I had to take 2 pistons out. So I didn't have to. I just decided to because I wanted to see what the full cylinders look like. And they're garbage. They are garbage. I'll show you. So here's the piston. Rings were not seized at all. And they're in good shape. Like I said, this thing I think had some work done to it right before it was shut down. But I mean, it's rusty down there at the bottom, but I'm not concerned about that. That's not bad at all. Like I said, it's just got this one bad cylinder. And I think all the bearings are shot, but we're going to use them. I think I am going to pull, do I want to pull the crank out? I think I might. Let me think about this. So we're moving right along here. Took the oil pump apart and cleaned it up because it was full of all kinds of nastiness. But dude, as far as the pump and wear, there's not a lot of wear on here. So I think that this thing ain't been its way just too damn long. So I'm just gonna lube it up in here, torque her back together, and start cleaning up the rest of this pigsty, because this thing is dirty. I'll show you a few more things maybe, but let me get this thing cleaned up. And I am not going to take the crank out of it. I am not. I am going to hopefully put it back together, and when we prime the oil, any kind of crap goes through an oil filter and doesn't get to the bearings, because the bearings look good except for some scoring. I'll show you that here real quick. But I've tried to show this before and it don't ever show up. See that big score in the center there? Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, but the crank is fine. The crank is good to go. We're just gonna clean her up. And we're gonna make it run whether you like it or not. Look how awful that bearing is. It looks like somebody beat the shit out of it when they put it in. I don't know, but we're gonna, I'm gonna probably run a little bit like a 3M pad on that or something. Just kind of, that's awful. Look, I know this is terrible, but we're gonna see how long this motor will run. I imagine it'll run a long time, because those bearings ain't very old. Somebody didn't do their damn job is what happened, or didn't know what they were doing, because these are brand new, 10 over. Everything's 10 over. And I thought about finding a new set, but this motor ain't worth doing all that to, because then I'd want to take the crank out, and we're just not going to do that. We're going to put her back together, and anybody who has something to say about it can kiss my ass. Because I don't care. I got lifter sport, by the way, straight from China. $54. Should work perfect. Perfect for this engine anyway. Well, with that cap on, I got these cleaned off. Boy, I'll tell you what, this thing sat in some water. Look at that. Look at the frickin' pitting on that. I mean, I cleaned it up as best as it's gonna get. I just kind of ran my little thing in there just to get most of it off. I'll spray that down a little better, but for the most part, till it's clean down here, I'm gonna flip it over and we'll spray her down again with brake clean. I need to get this oil pump back on. I need to get this off. I'm gonna have to heat that up pretty hot and then yank it off there. Not a big deal, I've done it a million times. The only thing I haven't really decided, I want to put a rear main in that. I can't remember if this is 2-piece. I think it's 2-piece. I may take this main cap off. As a matter of fact, I will. I'm going to take this main cap off. I want to see if there's anything in there. Well, I got her pretty much as clean as I can up here and underneath. I mean, I may do a little more, but I'm just going to clean the top of the pistons off. And then we're going to get these pistons back in it. Do need to go get my timing chain because that thing was shot. I got to change that. I used the rear main seal that was in it. It looked pliable, it looked fine. I resealed it. Guys, I took it off. I just cleaned it up, made sure everything was good. The seal seemed great, so I put it back in, put some RTV, engine building stuff. But this isn't really a how-to. This is more of a FU to those that say that you can't, why would you do this? Well, real simple. I'm going to get this thing running. I'm going to hook it to that transmission right there. I'm going to put it in a Chevy pickup, and Amber's going to drive it. That simple. So I'm going to clean these up one at a time. Keep cleaning. That's your elbow grease. So far, I've got a $34 gasket kit that I'm not going to use all, but I got another motor I can use some of the stuff on. $30 timing chain, and brake clean. Which brake clean isn't cheap anymore, but still. All together, I'm hoping to have less than $350 in this motor, completely. So, it's just time. Just time. That's it. Well, so we're gonna get these back in. I'm not going crazy here. We're not going crazy. But this is what I normally do when I'm building an engine anyway. So get some WD-40 in there. Wipe off your skirt. Make sure rings are clocked opposites. Oil rings good. There we go. Alright, let's clean this bearing off. This bearing here, it's shot. It's shot. Matter of fact, this will probably be the first one to spin. I normally will not, for any reason, put old rings back in an engine. This time around, boom. Not on the crank, but she's in the cylinder. There are mice running wild in here. This bearing is terrible. So we're going to put that right in there. So I've got a birthday party to go to real quick because I said I was going. I never miss it. My nephew, he born like right before Christmas. Lucky him, right? Gets presents 2 days in a row, damn near. Or a couple days in a row, whatever. That'd be my nephew Briar. It's his birthday, so I'm going to go head over there after I clean up. Boy, do I stink. And for now, we're just gonna let this engine soak in its WD-40 and the strike hold that I have on everything. That'll help eliminate some of the rust that's in it. So I've got her soaking down pretty good. When I get home, I'm gonna clean up them heads. We're just gonna stick them on there. I looked at the valve seals. They're all there. They're intact. So I'm just gonna let it eat. If it runs good, it's a quick step to just fix them. So I've got all the stuff to do it. The heads look great. Looks like they recently had a valve job. I said this motor don't look too old on the inside, like it was freshly built. So that's the unfortunate side of it. I do got to pick up my my timing chain, and I got to find a timing chain gasket and get that all done. Welcome back. It's the next day. It just got too late, and honestly I just too lazy, didn't want to mess with it. So what I got here is especially pretty nice today. So I got my pressure washer and my heads. I'm gonna clean them up that way. It's a whole lot easier than wasting a bunch of, you know, brake cleaning and getting myself all and honestly I don't feel very good after yesterday because of all that brake clean. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it. So let me get these washed up. Okay, that's about as clean as they're gonna get. There's still a little bit on them, but nothing major at all. They look good, actually. Did notice this one has a broken bolt in it, so I'll make sure that's to the back. But okay, I'm gonna blow this off, treat it with some goop, probably some of that strike hold I got. That'll keep all the surface from flash rusting, because you know they will do that. You got to be quick about this, but you'll blow it out and then we'll put the strike hold. You can use WD-40. I just happen to really love the strike hold. So I went ahead and used the pressure washer while I had it out to clean the timing cover and the oil pan, and wow on this oil pan. So timing cover, well, good to go. Good and clean. Just got to scrape this off a little better, that main gasket surface. But the pan, on the other hand, this thing took a beating. It is, I mean, it's clean enough to use. It's not leaking, but you can see right there where the drain plug is. Look at that. The floor of the pan is all beat up. I'm gonna see if I can't beat that back down. I do have another pan that's off the motor I bought for Oogie before I built it, so I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, the one for Oogie Boogie, that one actually sat too long, and it had problems anyway, but this one's actually in better shape. And I'm just taking board, 2x4, and usually the butt of this, I just slam it down in there. I break most of it out. I just got to get this next to the, the drain plug. It needs to go down. Oh yeah. Don't take much. I don't need to be perfect. See, the problem is if that gets crushed up, it gets against your screen. I'm sure a lot of you people know this. It gets against your screen, it ain't gonna get the sufficient amount of oil to the screen at high RPM especially. So we gotta straighten that part out. It has to. We gotta get this cam in here. That way it's done and over with, and I need to get that bottom gear off. Now I've cleaned this with a couple of different things, brake clean, and my strike hold. So I need to wipe it down. The problem I'm gonna have is I don't know how good the cam bearings are, and I can tell by this one they seem to be good, except they're dirty from sitting, you know. So let's get to it. Now, as you can tell, this cam is shot. The lobes are good, but you know, as far as for duration and setting up the lifters, but the actual, they're gone, and it's like this through the whole cam. Okay, and guess what? We're gonna put it in anyway. I cleaned it off again, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of the strike hold on my bearing surfaces. That'll help kind of get lubricate, and it'll clean that bearing while it's in there, hopefully. And then we'll put lube on these, my CRC. But you know, I'm gonna prime this oil pump anyway before we start it. So, but I'm hoping maybe I can get that stuff on there, since it is a cleaner. Maybe it'll help break loose any kind of grime that's on those bearings. Now this right here was one of the coolest tools I think my dad ever gave me. There was a bunch, and I don't remember what I was working on. I just don't. It was a long time ago when he gave me. I said I was having trouble getting this off. You know, when you call your dad and ask him, what do you think? What's a solution? He said, come over, I got something for you. I don't remember what it was for. It may have been for the same thing. Matter of fact, it may have been for Oogie's motor, because I was having the same problem because I didn't have a tool to pull it. I didn't have a big torch, and for some reason I just couldn't think of a way to do it. And this tool right here, it's adjustable. It's got two different size hooks, and I lost a little front piece, so I'm using a 13mm socket so that way it don't go into the threads of the crank. But this is just an awesome tool. These just pull out and it slides up and down, or you turn them around. And he kind of used it to break stuff loose with a hammer. You know how dads were back in the day. Everything was fixed with a hammer. So I need to shave this down so I can get a socket back on it. But for now, we'll just use this. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully I got enough gas, because I may have to get the big torch out. I don't want to for this little shit. Let's just go. Gotta get her good and hot. And look at that. There she goes. This tool is just a badass. It really is. I think that's what it was with this. The reason I asked him for it, because I didn't ask him for it. He gave it to me. He said, here, take this. I ain't going to use it no more. And turns out he did, because he bought another one. I don't know where he found it, but I don't even know what this thing is called. If you got an idea what it's called, put it in the comments. All I know is it's badass. Okay. What I got here is just a regular Cloy's. I think it was like 25 bucks from O'Reilly's. They had it in a few hours. Yeah. So, let me just get something. I'll see if that won't drive on there, but usually we got to heat them up. Big enough? Oh yeah. See if she goes on. They're wet. She's on. Heck yeah. There we go. That's pretty. What is that, billet? No. Chain, chain, shackles and chain. Who's that? Put that in the comments. Who sings that? One of my favorite singers of all time. Just snugging. Nothing serious. Relax. That's tons better. Okay. What's next? Oh yeah, timing cover. Okay. You guys seen me doing this 100 times, probably 120. Yep, I get it all over. I don't care. I don't care. That went on. There's a little pin. I'm trying to decide what color to paint this damn thing. I don't know if I've said where it's going yet. It's probably, if it runs good, it's going to go in our C10. Amber's C10. And the 76 Cheyenne we have, and this is a 76 engine, so it'll be year number matching. No, both of them are trashed. But, okay, let's start at the top. Work our ways to the bottom. Okay, I got my bolts all cleaned up. I didn't want to bother you with that. It's boring. I just use them on my bench whirler there and run it across the brush. Got my head gaskets and I got my heads. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this sprayed down with a little bit of copper gasket. May not have to use it, but I do. I just always have. I made sure all this is clean. And the other thing I did was I backed it off so that the pistons are down a little bit. The reason I did that is because I wanted to clean and make sure nothing got around this lip right here and would get up in this gasket and possibly mess it up. And I used brake clean and a clean rag and wiped this all down, cleaned the cylinders out while I could. So, yeah, I don't know if you have to use this stuff. I know you don't have to, but I just always have. My dad used it, I use it. We're just going to use it. Make sure she's clean and dry. Just like such. Well, alrighty then. This one's all on, torqued down just fine. I went through with my mallet and tapped on every one of these, make sure they're free. And, you know, I'm leaving all that stuff on there. I may spray them down a little bit more with some WD-40 or some Strike Hold. I don't know yet. But I'm going to go ahead and get that other side on. And then we'll worry about intake and pan and all that stuff. We're getting there, guys. Well, would you looky there. These are just sitting on there because I don't want any more dirt because those are clean. So, and we're just going to wipe this down clean in here. And I still have to clean up the old intake. I'm going to put that on there. I got a couple of Quadra junks I might use, or I do have an Edelbrock over there. So yeah, we're this far. So now, probably go ahead and flip it over and put the pan on it, is what we're going to do next. And I've got all these colors of paints up in here. I got, you name it, there's engine paint galore, okay? But, here's the kicker. This motor, if it does well enough, it's probably going to go in Amber's C10 Cheyenne. So instead of just painting it, I went in and asked the boss what color she wants it to be. And of course she said Chevy orange. So we got to go. I got to get some stuff from O'Reilly's. I got to go to Walmart. I got a bunch of places to go. And we'll pick up some Chevy orange. I don't have any headers or anything like that. All I have is the exhaust that actually came off this motor, which came out of a C10. We're just going to use those. It's going to suck because it's going to be blasting right here in the building instead of, you know, out the door. So that's how it goes. But imagine if we do use in that truck, I'll probably put some headers on it or something like that. We'll see how it runs first because this thing's pretty bad. But I've actually had worse that ran longer. So, alright, maybe we'll flip this over and get this pan on here. There's my oil pan. It's all cleaned up, ready to go. And I went to O'Reilly's and got me an oil pan gasket, and all they had was this fancy sumbitch. I'm like, how much is that going to cost me? $21. Well, why the hell wouldn't I just do this to begin with? Why would they sell the other ones for anything like $21, guys? So it even come with bolts and the star locker washer things. Unbelievable. So I went ahead and put a little bit of silicone in each corner like you normally would, and the rest I'm just going to put it on there and put her down. So let me get that going. We'll be ready to flip it over and paint this sumbitch. I think I'm going to leave this thing upside down. I'm going to clean it off and we'll paint it. See what she's gonna look like, huh? Chevy, straight Chevy orange, no red, just Chevy orange. Oh yeah. Sure shit ain't getting on my grubs. That's all I care about, honestly, guys. I guess if I was doing this right, I would have put this, I would have painted this pan before I did it. But, you don't get any paint in your cylinders. Look at that. It's like brand used. It's brand new. Just built. I mean, you see that apart. Fresh rebuild. Pretty sure this was a Jasper engine too, by the way. There's a number plate on the side. It could have been a Jasper or one of the other ones. Anyway, it's very possible. That'll work. Rebuilt. You might be thinking, oh, spilled some beer down there. Sorry. You know, you saw earlier that the lifters they're done. So what did I get? The best lifters available. Meaning the cheapest. These are on Amazon. $54 for all 16. So you know they're good. I already checked the sizing, the oiling hole. Everything looks good. They're already pre-oiled, which is, that's strange. But got my trusty CRC here. Now, in case you're wondering, Stay Lube, engine assembly lube. This works great for everything. I use this stuff all the time. My dad had it. I got like 4 or 5 bottles of it around here. Can't beat it. So let's get these no-name Chinesiums in. I better put this somewhere else. Set it right there where it can fall. These will peel off. Yeah. Oh, double film. Wow. That's cool. They're oiled. It's freaking weird. Usually they're dry as a bone, you know. Let's give her a little bit on the sides to goop, a little bit on the bottom. Look how that sticks. That's what you want. You want it to stick. I'll just get that one. Oh yeah. Right in the hole. Yeah, there's oil in the package. That's look at that. There's oil in there. That's tell you what, I don't get that out of any of the big manufacturers, that's for damn sure. Wow. And they're usually just in a dry box. This thing's oiled up, and tell you what, if these things work, I won't be buying any more cam kits. Nice thing about this stuff is however much you use is however much you use. It breaks down really good in the oil. Alright, they're all clean. Blew them out with the air gun and ran brake clean through the hole, to the oiler. And then just used them on the old bench grinder. And you can see they're shot. I mean, we'll just make sure that's at the top so we know they broke after they break, because they probably will break. So, alright, we'll get these old dogs. We'll just throw that right down in there like so. I have no idea when the battery went dead. I wasn't paying attention. I did some cleaning, got all the rockers all cleaned up, all the you know, the what you call it thingy that sits on yeah, that thing. Let me show you. Yeah, all the rockers are on. I have not set the lash on them yet, but the little rocker thing in there that sits on, I cleaned them all up actually nicely. I did a good job on those. Kind of happy with myself, but they're all ready to get on. Did get this on. I did paint this, and yes, I used the exact tool you need to put this on. That's my big old Dowmy dead blow, and you know, just Make sure you're lubed up, beat the son of a bitch on, and then use your impact to get it all the way in, then torque it with everything you have. That's actually not the truth. Make sure you get the right tool to put those on. If I wasn't dealing with a motor I thought was going to blow up right away in my face, I would put it on the right way. So anyway, intake is nice and cleaned up and painted. It looks good. So the motor's done. It's painted, it's ready to go. So we're going to set this lash, and then I'm going to get this intake on it. I could put the intake on it first, I guess, but I want to see how everything reacts, make sure everything's moving. So this is a good opportunity to do it without, you know, it's a good way to do it where you can see everything in there, make sure everything's moving correctly, okay? Let's set some valve lash, shall we? So there's a million ways you can do this. You can have dials and all kinds of crap. My dad taught me a specific way to do this, and that is quickly and easily make sure, you know, there's two ways that he did it. One is he'd get them to where he thought they were, and if it was in the car, if you heard a lifter tapping, you would take off the valve cover, start it, and go through and back off until you heard her clack, go until she stopped, and then go a quarter of a turn. That was how he did it. But an engine that's out with adjustable valves, you know, the adjustable rockers, the easiest way to do it, and I got to give some credit to Vice Grip Garage here, because Derek put out a great video of this, and when I was building Oogie Boogie's motor, I had to go back and reference, because I was like, oh my God, what did my dad do, you know, because my dad had passed away already, so I hadn't done one for a while. I thought, okay, I'm going to figure this out. He's the video. I got 5 seconds into his video and went, oh yeah. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start it anywhere you want. I'm starting at top dead center, and I don't have it's easier with a small breaker bar, but I don't have one. But you see how this is turning. You can see the paint that's not supposed to be on there. Okay, it's turning. I'm going to tighten this down until it doesn't turn anymore. You don't want it, you don't want it to be loose. See how it's loose? And it don't matter, however you want to do it, just tighten her down until she stops. Well, she stopped, so I think I went too far. Let's open her back up. Right there. Let's go to the next one. Loosey goosey. Let's just tighten her up. Just like that. This is another reason why you want to make sure your stuff's lubed. She came a little snug too quick. So let's do that. Oh yeah, right there. So we're going to do that to every single one of these. Okay. So then what we're going to do, my dad would go a half a turn, but I happen to like Derek's version of it where you do a quarter. So it's like 90 degrees. So start at your 0. That's down. You're going to rotate her up. Well, maybe. Like there. Yeah, it's a quarter. I don't know if it's in the camera or not, but you get the idea. And then we just do it all over again. Every one of them till we make the whole turn. And you can probably make a couple more and test it, but no, it's not a big deal. So she's all back to top dead center. You can't pay attention to these, okay? Do not pay attention to your threads. I mean, you want to make sure you're down on it, but cam lobe different everywhere you go. Just make sure they're not, you know, once they get pumped up, I'm sure I'll have to adjust them again for some reason, but should be ready to roll. Yes sir, yes sir. Let's just get that intake on there, shall we? Got a 1/4 inch, a little more than that, bead on each side of the china wall. We don't use the damn rubbers. They don't work. I've caught myself using them sometimes in a pinch when I didn't have any silicone, but no. No Lucy. Cannot stand a leaking goddamn china wall. That drives me nuts. Just like that. Just like that. Welcome back. It's about a week later, so now it's New Year's weekend. It's Friday night. I just got home. I wasn't able to do nothing with this engine the entire week because, you know, the last 2 months I've been barely working, but the last week of the year, boom, which is fine because I got to pay for stuff. I got a bunch of new stuff here I got to show you. It is cold in here. Got the old oil burner going, but I just started it because I literally just got home, so you can see my breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to prime the oil pump of this thing. I could not find my oil pump primer. I know I had one for small block and big block Chevys. It was actually an OTC tool. Okay, it was an expensive one back in the day. And honestly, I think I borrowed it to my dad's friend, and I don't think I ever got it back. And that friend is no longer with us, so who knows. So let me show you what I got. So I got on Amazon, got this little tool right here. Got the little screwdriver type spade, you know, in the end that goes into your oil pump drive, so to speak. This goes in and sits in the hole. Goes down in like that. This goes on top to fit in the hole where your distributor would normally sit. And I know I spent well over $100 back in the 90s probably for that OTC. I think I got this for $26 on Amazon. They shipped it to the house. And it came today, which is perfect, so now we can do something with it. And all it does is you take it, make sure this has an Allen wrench, make sure that sucker's tight because you don't want nothing to go down in there. It's pretty self-explanatory, guys. This goes down in there like that. She's locked in. This little dude here, it holds it directly in the hole, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to spin it. So let's get to spinning, shall we? I got me an oil pressure gauge. That's for when I dyno, if you want to call it that, dyno my engines on the stand. I am not going to start this engine on this stand. I'm going to move it to a different one because this one here it's old. Like, not as old as me, but it's old. So it's never failed me, but I'd rather have it on 4 wheels than 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this. I'm going to hold this up. We're also going to watch and make sure oil comes out of all the push rods onto the rockers. And then while we're doing that, I'll show you that, but then we're going to make sure we spin this thing over. After we see oil, we'll start spinning her over. And if we don't see oil, then what we may do is come back and loosen all these damn rockers again. I've had to do that too, especially on non-adjustables. You know, Ford, old Pontiacs, stuff like that. I think my 455 olds was the same way. So I know this is a long rant. I'm just explaining to you what we're doing. So let's try it. Fit and sputtering. We got pressures. Well, I'm afraid that my good old Milwaukee has let me down again. It won't run in second gear to get this thing cranking all the way to the top of the engine. I do get oil pressure, and you can look down these little holes right here. You can see your lifters, they're getting oil, but it's not coming up the push rod because I have some stuff in there and it would bubble like it wanted to, but I know it's getting oil. I absolutely am positive it's getting oil. See, it's getting oil where it needs to. But I've cranked it around on it and it spins, and I got oil pressure. It gets up to about 20-25. I think I need to get a little more than that. I even loosened all these and it still wasn't pushing them up to the top. I know the oil pump's fine because I took it apart. So I don't know what I did with my old drill, my electric one. I think I burnt it up when I was building the 455 and I just never replaced it because I figured, you know, that shit would work. See how smoky it is in here? Yeah, I accidentally shut the damper too much. Make a smoky mess. But I think I'm gonna run in town and get a different damn drill. So if I'm not back in a little while, I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, I found my old drill. Why do I still have this? Why? I mean, junk. Welcome back. It is the next day. I went all the way, got me a drill, got dog food, got everything in line at the local Rural King. Left my wallet at home. So anyway, let me show you what's been going on. You can see I made a mess on an already junk towel. It was already bad, so kids, just calm down. Amber, calm down. Everybody calm down. I did go get me a new DeWalt. They had them 25% off into your clearance. It was perfect. You notice I've got oil running out all this side. I never had any problem with this side. I've already had all the rockers off and had to re-clean them all. And let me show you why. You'll notice now these all have oil, right? And I just sitting here doing that. You can see the oil, it'll come up. There it is, just like that. So, plenty of oil pressure. Getting spinning, right? So, you do that and they all come out. Well, I was having trouble with one of my rockers. Look how loose that is. I got to go back through them now, but I got a stamped steel rocker. This one here is garbage. I had to kind of mill it out with screwdrivers and stutch and drilled the hole a little better. It was bad. So I am going to try to find another one of these. But other than that, I got them all oiling. I have been cleaning like crazy. Because you got to remember something here. Normally, when I do this, I don't use engines. I'll tear them apart all the way down to nothing, and I will bring them outside and I will pressure wash the shit out of them, right? Well, I didn't do that to this one. So there's still crap in the oil galleys and all the journals and orifices and all that stuff. Well, that stuff came up and it started blocking everything. So I'm constantly turning the engine over with that going, with the rockers on, with the rockers off, to get them to blow it maybe out the, you know, come out of the lifters and yada yada yada. You understand what I'm saying? I did that to every one of these cylinders, just off camera, because I wanted to get it done and over with. This rocker that I put on there will work. I've got it to where it'll oil, should be fine, but I'm still going to try to find a different one to put on it. Used one, preferably, one just laying around somewhere. I know I don't have any left anywhere. I think I used all mine, but I got a buddy up north that's got one. I can just run up there real quick and grab it. So, oiling issue fixed. So the next thing we're going to do is get it swapped to a different stand, and then we'll get the headers on it, get it set up, get everything moved, cleaned, put where it needs to be, and it's time to make this thing run, y'all. By the way, there's the Wix filter that I put on it to begin with, and well, after I ran that a bunch of times, I thought, you know what, I don't trust that at all, because what if something was in there, before it gets to this? And there was a lot of crap in there. This thing, if it had weight vision, I could have really built up my muscles lifting that thing. It was heavy. So that Rural King, they had AC Delco filters, so I stuck that one on there. You notice I made a mess, and I'll clean that up. But I got to show you something about this AC Delco filter. There's the box. Okay, that's the box, and it has French, I think, Italian, I think there's some Korean and Japanese maybe, or Chinese, and there's I don't even know what the hell that is, but hey, whatever works, right? I got two of them while I was there, because The only other thing they had was Fram, and no, not even on a junk motor. No. Let me get this thing moved around. And I got a quick update. So, I had to make a trip to my buddy Tony's. Yeah, that Tony. Transmission Tony. And I got a couple of rockers off of him. The rocker that I had on this motor, it was garbage. I could not get it to clean up. He had a couple of decent ones, handed them to me. Old hot rodders, just helping people out. Put that one on there, prime the oil, come flowing out of there like nothing. I did put too heavy oil in here. I probably should have went with a 10W30, but I didn't. Other than that, I got the alternator brackets on. This is non-permanent. I'm just getting it all set up. He did have a pulley for me. Perfect. So I can just run the alternator, and you know, I don't have to try to find a single, because sometimes when I'll do this, I'll have just one going from there to there because I don't have any need for this. But this way we can just run a normal belt. I don't have to go trying to find the right one. But yeah, went through and adjusted all the valves again, and I'm going to use these for now. I do have the original set, but no, we just need to get her swapped over onto that stand right there by Dixie Lee. Got my oil burner going. It is smoky, and I mean not smoky, it's like hot. Holy shit, it's hot. And he's here to tell me, where are we going to eat?
Denny's. I was thinking Chili's.
You said Chili's. What Mom say?
Denny's.
Denny's? Oh, okay. Oh, let me show you what Zeppy's been playing with all day. All right, show him. Yeah, that's an MT10. It's a brushless motor. That thing will absolutely fly.
Non-brushless.
Non-brush motor, you're right. But it will absolutely just fly. And got a couple batteries for it. He couldn't play with it at Christmas because dumbass dad ordered the wrong batteries. And now we got a problem because one of our dogs wants to attack it. But
yeah,
pretty neat. Well, it's that day. It's Sunday. It's New Year's Eve. What's everybody else doing? Planning for parties. What's Irish Outlaw Garage doing? We're getting ready to start an engine. So I hope you're ready for this. Now, here is a little bit of a disclaimer. Do not do what I do. Do not follow me. Don't tell me you followed me and burnt your garage down or flipped an engine over and all that kind of stuff, because I've done this a million times and I've been at it since last night. Got up today, and it's now like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon setting this up because I don't have a run stand. I don't have all that fancy shit. I use a good engine stand, and I use my hoist to put the radiator on. Again, do not follow what I do. There's probably going to be some mishaps. I have to start and stop, start and stop. Don't do this and hurt yourself, okay? We're going to try this with this damn engine. Now let me show you what I've done. So, our 350 is on my good O'Reilly stand. Got the headers on it. And I did splurge and put some nice covers on it, valve covers. And again, if this motor for any reason does not work well, I have more coming. So this will all work, okay? This radiator is for a A-body Chevy that I bought to have an extra radiator around. It's a big, long one core, but it should be just fine for this application. Got the new water pump on. This pulley is actually too small, but it's what I had here. It'll work for what I'm doing right now. No thermostat because I want it to just run continuously, because I'm gonna have to bring this up to RPM, because remember we put new lifters in here. So yeah, they got to break into that cam, which will probably break the cam because, you know, the cam is junk. But got me one of these, you know, just repeating myself as I probably said this, got one of these adapters to go from the 4-barrel down to the quadra-junk. And this is the distributor out of my 454. Zeppelin is also, he's doing a thing. I think he's talking to Mom. Or are you videoing? He's talking to Mom. She's in the house. But anyway, this is her engine. She should be out here. This 454 distributor, same thing as a small block Chevy. This is the top and all the guts off of another HEI that I had. Mismatched wires to beat hell, because that's what I got. I got a wild array of wires. So I had to make one because, as everybody knows, headers on these things, you gotta have some elbows or use the smaller plugs, but I don't want to do all that. These are the plugs I have, and we'll keep going around. Again, this radiator, it's not all the way full. I don't want to fill it all the way up. New fuel pump, line is in. Used a clicky clack to get fuel primed to the carburetor, so we know we got that. I put my choke back on, because if you do not have that on here, you will have a vacuum leak. I plugged all the vacuum leaks, all of them except that one. I do have this hooked up. That is on the ported side, because some reason I play with these 350s a lot. They like that ported side. I am going to take this off and plug it when I first get it running, if it runs at all, and then we'll check the timing, and then I'll throw that sucker back on there, and I'll get that locked down so we can bring it up to some kind of an RPM. We should be ready to go. This is interesting. See here, I had this from my dad's stuff. It's not exactly level, but it will work. I have another bottle of antifreeze right there, ready to run. Don't add water. You can see it's kind of crooked. Don't care. It's going to work. Now, normally I do this stuff in the summer. So now, because it's finally turned winter on us, it's actually snowing outside, I had to use antifreeze. So if we have a hose blow or we have anything go wrong, we're going to have antifreeze everywhere. But I did put a catch can underneath it, and I'm keeping all my bottles because, you know, $6.99 a bottle. We got to keep it. Now I'm ranting. This belt, we did get it on. This belt was actually on Artemis when we found him, and it fit, and it's not broken in any way. I'm not exactly sure what this fan's off of. Don't care, but it'll work. It's a clutch fan, and it's good and snug. It might be off this motor. I can't remember if there was one on it when I got it anyway. So all that said, oh yeah, and I set these, kind of set this, put a makeshift spring on here. That's actually the keeper for, the rocker arms on my Javelin. Okay, I think I covered everything. These are not on super tight. Now, I don't have an RPM gauge ready, so I'm using the RPM off my timing light. I'm going to go around 8 to 9 degrees to start off, and we'll see how that goes. I ran my oil pressure up to here, and there's my temp. It's all right there. This is my switch. This is my on and off switch for the ignition going to my HEI. And I don't have a light working on here, so I just marked white to which side goes to which, so I can just switch it back and forth. I do not have any of that on tight, so if a battery for some reason says we're done, I can just pop them off. Nothing is in the way of that. The starter is off my 454. Got my little Duma Whatsus here. I know it works. I already tested it. Starter's good. But you got to make sure that nothing's getting into the header, because that is close as hell. So I'll be getting a mini starter or something for this if it works. I'm going to start using those anyway, because the new ones, they're garbage, guys. Well, anyway, as crooked as that looks, it's time to give this thing a whirl. Want to remind you, do not follow me on this, okay? I've been doing this for years. I'm 48 years old. I built my first one like this when I was about 16. So don't do this just like me, because it's probably dangerous, okay? It's probably dangerous. So let's try it. Got to open these doors. Spin her over real quick, see how she does. She's not real happy. See what she does. that starter's garbage. Yep. Starter's junk. Wow. Right off the bat. We gotta go get a starter, buddy. Alright. New starter installed. Let's see what she'll do. I've already tested it. She'll spin. That popping noise you hear is my oil burner. I put some oil in it that some friends gave me, and it's some pretty high potent shit. Let's just say that. It burns clean and it is hot. So this is a godsend having the door open. So here we go. See if we can get some oil pressure going. Oh yeah. We got oil pressure. Give her a pump, maybe two. Woo! Yeah, buddy. Let's give her a little bit of. Once in a while. Once in a great while. But that can come out. This thing, unbelievable. Look at that. Hot oil pressure. And it's not even warming up. It's not. It's warm. But that's it. I can't. Woo! We got us a runner. Hell yeah. I had to tie it down. Other than that, I'm just sitting here letting it run. Ain't doing nothing. The motor that should not be. Wow. I'm not touching. I'm not putting a cam in it. I'm not doing anything. This thing is staying just like this. Alright, so what I did here, I was off camera and I decided to go a little more tuning. I wasn't going to do this, but I went ahead and marked I forgot to mark that damn dampener, the harmonic balancer, so I marked it, got back in, I set it at 12 degrees initial, and about there, adjusted my air fuel mixtures, got the timing set, she's idling about 750. That's my idle. Hot. Look, it finally raised up, so I put a cap on it so it gets some pressure. She's been sitting at 190 and she's got pressure, and that's my oil pressure. Just above 40 at idle warm. And you notice I got the timing all set now, 12 degrees, and you can mess with that a little bit here and there. I did not rev it up. That's something I'll do in the truck or in the car. But notice there's no more mist. It's gone. There's no smoke. Nothing. Ha! Well, that's going to do it for this one. This little 350 I initially bought for $200 off a guy. I knew nothing about it. Basically, I took apart what was already there, fixed what was already there, didn't change a thing. I even took out 2 cylinders, used the rings that were in it, put it all back together with the right amount of lubrication. Didn't even reuse it. I usually, you know, if I'm going to build an engine, I always use a new oil puddle. I didn't even do that. I just cleaned out the one that was in it. And then whenever I went to prime it, I changed the oil filter because I knew there had to be stuff in line. And there was. So, this thing's completely stock. Most of the stuff I had laying around the house. The radiator I had, the hoses I had. I had a different setup for the coolant neck. Well, I guess I did get this spacer, you know, this converter to go to that. But, guys, this thing, I literally have maybe $500 total in this motor. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that crap. Don't tell me it can't be done, because it can. This thing, anybody would have just, you know, they would have just thrown this thing in the trash, save what parts they could out of it, because I was thinking about doing that myself, and I'm so glad I didn't. I decided, why not? Why not? Let's see if we can get this thing to run. So now, what is it we're doing with this? This is going in Amber's 1976 Cheyenne C10 long bed. We've got a long way to go to get that thing, you know, safe. But transmission's right over here built. I have everything. I don't need anything. I can put it all together and then we just work on brakes and stuff. So there we have it. Guys, 350 Chevy that should not be is. You can do it. Took me 3-4 weeks to do it because of work, but you can do it. Just find something and work on it. Have fun. Put it back on the road. You don't have to trash everything. Filling station rebuilds work. They worked for years since cars were invented, and here they are again. I didn't even put rings and bearings in this thing. Use the old cam. It's pitted, crappy. Listen to that thing purr. You guys take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Just make sure you don't follow me. You feel me? Take care of yourself. Wait. 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 Door's shut. Let's see if it'll fire off again. It's been sitting about 15 minutes. Place your bets.